What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, doing an extended gameplay video for this Invoked Generaider Dogmatika deck. And, man, this deck is something else because, you only run like 3 bricks in the deck, which is like hard. And I'm pretty sure I open it up like 80% of the time, like 1 or 2 of them. It's infuriating, but somehow I still end up finding ways to win, so I have a couple of like meta-ish matchups. So I have this VW match, I have Sky Strikers, and I do have a duel also against Phantom Knights. So we'll see what ends up happening here. This is a really nice opening, of course. He's going to go ahead and just negate the Alistair, which I guess makes sense, but that's okay. I'll pop his back row, hoping it was Chuche, but it's just an infinite impermanence, which I guess also serves a very good purpose. And I had already had all the pieces in my hand, like of the Dogmatika engine, funny enough. And then obviously the Blossom can help me shuffle back the Har, so it's just funny how often, like, I feel like in all these replays you're going to see Har in my opening hand. The punishment's pretty good. It's not too bad. I'm going to send something, yeah, well I have to send the Phantom Fortress because it did have a pretty big attack. I still have the Effect Veiler, we'll see if that'll come up. I didn't want to send Xinglong to the graveyard especially because otherwise he'd just be able to get a search. I think he's just banishing stuff in general. I'm not sure. Here comes the Shen Shen. Not in a super good place, but these can't be destroyed by, battle for monsters from the extra deck. I don't really know. Alistair doesn't really do anything. I guess unless he thinks that I'm playing, like this Shadal package or something, which I guess at this point he has no idea I'm playing Generators. I haven't drawn anything from that engine yet. He goes ahead and special summons the GG, which can bring back the Nying Yang. He goes into the Juju. To pop the Ecclesia, I might as well. I don't even know if that was worth saving, but alright. Because this technically was special summoned from the extra deck, obviously originally, but because it's from the graveyard, the effect of Ecclesia doesn't count. That's kind of an interesting thing, I guess. But now I have 2 Effect Veilers, and yeah, reading's really hard, and I don't actually read cards. Who does? Because obviously I should have negated first and gotten a little more damage in, but that's okay. I mean, it didn't matter in the end, but yeah, go me. Okay, so that was the first game there. Here's game 2, I'm pretty sure. It is. I should have shotgunned this Lancia, but yeah, I just should have. He had the answer anyway, so it made me feel a little better about myself. And what do you know? Har is in my opening hand again. Why? What did I do to deserve this? I mean, I know eventually you're going to open it, but every time? Ugh. I guess that just shows how good the deck is that you draw your brick every single turn and you still are able to win some games. That was a pretty well-timed nib, I think, because he had a full board of cards, so... I mean, if the next, I don't know, you probably could have gone to like Crystal Wing or something like that. I'm not sure. This time I actually do get to pop the Chuche. He does pop the Nibiru, but that's right. Not too big of a deal. And I can once again send this card back in my deck. I feel like I'm gonna I feel like I'm going to end up. Oh, actually, I didn't send the Blossom because it's fine. I think I was good with the one that banishes is actually really good against Virtual World, or I guess this was before. Although I think honestly the better choice would have been to summon the one that banishes. I always negate the infinite impermanence because otherwise, like when they search something, they have to send a card from their hand or field into the graveyard. But the banished one's good because when they target their Virtual World, and if you were to banish it, their effect just like straight up doesn't go off, which is awesome. So that was nice. I mean, when they only have 2 cards in hand, they only have 1 card in hand, it's Virtual World. If you negate that, then obviously they can't do anything for the rest of the turn. This is a match against Sky Strikers. It was actually pretty interesting. Yeah, this thing is just hand trap bait, which is fine. I mean, you just have so many powerful cards in your deck. I sent the Blossom this turn. I ended up drawing into the Generaider. I'm so conditioned to think I'm going to top deck a Har. It like freaks me out to activate that when it's not in my hand, but obviously it worked out pretty well there. So I pretty much got everything I needed to search off. Solemn Strike is so good. It's just one of the best cards in the deck. Especially because if they try to Ash your Generaider boss stage, you just get to strike it, This prevents me from taking damage, which is hilarious. I don't think if he didn't have access to Ray before, he ain't gonna have it now, right? So that's why I ended up activating Solemn Strike there. I don't mind him throwing cards in the graveyard if he can't have them. Okay, this was the other game. He is running Phoenix Enforcer, so this is a pretty standard Sky Striker deck. This was a really fun duel. I had a great time playing against the guy. This match actually, in real time, which is funny enough, ended up lasting like 30 minutes, and there was no like slow play or anything. Like this was like a really back and forth kind of duel in this match, especially. This is ooh, my voice did something weird there, but this is a pretty standard kind of situation, I think. Or I should say, like for me, it's a good board. You know, you have like the Makaba, and you also have one negate. Sometimes it's like this is like Ecclesia. Other times you get all three of them, but you know, normally you're going to get probably action on two of your engines. Okay, I thought he should have negated my Ray before, but I guess he did have the Rose in hand, so he feels pretty good about that. Okay, so he gets access to another Ray. Okay. He also has Hornet drones too. And his plays are pretty much unimpeded right now, so he banishes the token. I thought he would banish the Harb. But I guess he just wanted to take control of it. He does go into Access Kotaku to clear my board, which does make sense. Which shows how good this card is because of how much constant pressure it just puts on your opponent. And also he's not getting the search during the end phase with the Shizuku. So I have to take this to my advantage because obviously he can't activate his Widow Anchor in the current situation. I can always loop this over and over again. This is the Invoked Og. Obviously, can get rid of the access code talker, otherwise I would have been super duper dead. And I hit a 50-50 shot. I had no idea where the Afterburners and where the Widow Anchor was. So hopefully I picked the right one. And I always talk about this in the later stages of the game. That boss fight is just so good. Okay, so he goes for the Ray. I mean, that was a really good chain there. I mean, everything was a quick effect, so I'm not getting the effective heart this turn. But I do still have this infinite impermanence, so he didn't have a card in hand to pitch with Phoenix Enforcer, which is pretty funny. I think he probably wanted to go into, you know, Predaplant Verde and Iconda. But yeah, I picked right, obviously, so that doesn't go through, so that was pretty cool. And I think I top deck something nasty. Yeah, Harpies. Whew. Because this effect isn't going to go off, of course. And I don't think he has three spells in the grave either, which is crazy how long this match has been going on. Or this game, I should say. But, I mean, he had used these effect multiple times, so they just got banished instead. He top decked the effect failure to survive another turn, which is hilarious. Because I could have sent a fusion monster and then banished, and then had like a bunch of attack there. So if he top decked a Phoenix Enforcer, I would have been so screwed. Okay, the Elder can come down. I'll pop whatever that is last. He ends up negating the Wind Pegasus. That's okay. It's game. So that was really fun. And here's the game against Phantom Knights. We'll see what ends up happening here. This is pretty darn good. So I'm probably going to hold... Did I start with Phantom Knights? No, I don't remember. I feel like I did. I had to redo this video, so sometimes it gets confusing and I forget like where I started. Okay, so we'll just skip over that. Hopefully I went over it in the beginning. Here's the Ecclesia. This guy's unironically playing Raigeki Break, so that's pretty hilarious. And this isn't like the greatest match ever, but what I wanted to show this for is, you'll see here. So he activates Pot of Desires. I almost ubiquitously negate that, especially when you have Dogmatika Punishment as like the follow-up. So, and then he just passed turn. So here, in the context of this right now, I know that he doesn't have anything in his hand because he activated the Pot of card, right? And he skipped his turn after I negated it. So if he has another Pot of card, of course I'm going to negate that. So he goes to activate Pot of... Or no, I guess he doesn't. Which is pretty funny, I guess. Sure. I will go ahead and attack directly. He goes for the Summon Limit, which does nothing against this deck. Not really. because these count as like 2 big summons, so I get everything that I need from the boss stage engine. So, okay, he goes to activate Pot of Extravagance. I negate again, and he's like, why would you negate that? And I'm like, bro, like, you've been activating this every turn, and you haven't done anything. Okay, so I can go ahead and go to the battle phase once again. I do not have anything to banish off of Maximus, which was funny how far we've gone into the game. But that was it. So, but I just wanted to show that to you, like, just like strategy-wise, like if your opponent passes and activates a pot of card, like after you negate their pot of card, that means they have nothing in their hand, nothing at all. Okay, this is against Altergeist, and man, I sometimes I just dominate in this duel, and other times like Altergeist dominates me, which is just crazy. So he had the Effect Veiler, he has the Ash Blossom, and I still have my hand was just so good. So I have the boss stage too, so I'm getting a negate. I sent the Wind Pegasus because I did have the Almirage in the graveyard there, and I sent another Wind Pegasus. Although Altergeist doesn't really destroy all that much, so it's not really the best card against the deck. I have the Omni Negate, I have the Ash Blossom. Go ahead and Ash that Pod of Prosperity, and he goes ahead and passes. Okay, so we'll keep going here. This is against, let me see if I can find something else. Maybe Dino. We'll go with Dino here. I played Dino like 15,000 times for some reason, but I guess we'll just keep it in order. It doesn't really matter. Otherwise, I feel like I'm going to go over replays over and over again because it's hard to keep track. Okay, so he goes for the Pendulum Summon here. I do have the Effect Veiler. This is like a TCG duel, so the new Pendulum card will not be featured here. And he just goes for the Abyss Dweller. All right. I can't activate anything in the graveyard, which is kind of wonky. But I'm still going to be able to activate Invocation, just not the secondary effect. Okay. So I should have... Well, actually, no. I was going to say I should have sent the Titan-clad Ash Dragon. But I can't activate effects in the graveyard, so I guess it really is pretty good. I go ahead and pop the Scale, considering... Wow, that was pretty tough, right? He only has 1 card in hand, he didn't have Scales. But yeah, popping Scales in Pendulum obviously is very, very good. And you just saw, what's it called? Solemn Strike show up once again. I won the first game against, this deck, and I played it a couple days ago, and it just absolutely demolished me, so it felt very good. And of course, in the opening, you got 2 of your bricks because yes. He goes ahead and negates that. That's quite fine. He tries to search out or he tries to draw a couple cards. I will obviously prevent that. I still have the Effect Veiler. Still now have the Omni Negates. Okay, so he's going to try to search a bunch of cards. So, I mean, that's really why this matchup is so bad. So if they have... I think there's one of the Magical Musketeers that makes you completely unaffected. I did draw the Royal Decree, obviously, and there is no duel for Magical Musketeers without trap effects. I mean, he ends up surrendering, which is kind of funny. I almost wish he would have just activated this effect to give it a try. That's funny, though. So he goes to activate Musketeer, and this card's actually pretty decent. So I added it pretty late in the deck profile, but, preventing special summons that's good. That's very good. This is Mech Knight. Another, on paper, horrible matchup. Horrible. Because you're filling every single zone on the field. Every single monster zone, which is, the best case scenario. But Artifact Lancey is half decent. This is a deck that literally almost exclusively special summons. He did have the Kaiju, which is pretty unfortunate, but I have the Effect Veiler, which is pretty cool. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and destroy this because this card is just so annoying to deal with. And so now he's going to have Legacy, which negates monster effects in the same zones. So I think he's going to bring this back. It's going to get negated. And I'm going to go ahead and hit over that. The Kaiju is actually pretty big. So this obviously signals that he's playing Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Right? Why would you not play Gamma Seal? It must be something to do with this. I don't know. I feel like you just give me the smaller Kaiju, right? Okay. Here's Cosmo. This is a sick opening. I have horror in my opening hand because, yes, of course. What other card would be in your opening? It's not like there's 33 other cards, you know. Clearly, this is the only one that you can have in your opening hand. And this is like a pretty similar setup to what I had before. The deck's very consistent, of course, because everything, you only need one card for your entire engine for all three of them. Alright, emergency teleport. I don't know what these cards do. I will negate this. I can't let him go 6 cards deep in his deck. I just can't. I can't let that happen, right? Here's, I guess, another game against Genmaju. Harpy's Feather Duster, Raigeki, Lightning Storm, and Infinite Impermanence. That's a really good opening for Gren, obviously. Okay. Put this in defense position. We'll grab the Maximus. Maximus can send probably, yeah, it's not bad, right? Wind Pegasus and the Ash. And he does smartly have a good extra deck for that. Although maybe you want to send like a Wind Pegasus. I think that card's super duper underrated. Probably is running Super Poly as well, it looks like. And he did top deck the Ash Blossom too, so phew. I'll go ahead and finally send back the Golden Castle. That's why this card is so good. And yeah, so he's got a 3,000 attack body. That's not too bad, but I have plenty of follow-up here. And this card's really good for the potential Genmaju kind of play. And yeah, it's like I've literally just like restarted my turn 0. Plus the Generaider boss stage is going to come in handy there. And luckily you get to activate all of these cards in like the standby phase, so that you can negate some of this stuff. So let's see what I end up negating here. I feel like he's gonna, okay, Pot of Extravagance. Interesting. I will negate that too. No 2 fresh cards. The Lightning Storm comes down. The Harpy's Feather Duster comes down. So, man, he seems to have it all. But the Solemn Strike and the Effect Failure is probably going to be enough. There we go, the Raigeki. So he goes for the Gizmek. I'm just going to save the Solemn Strike until I can get over this so that when I end up going for game, there's nothing he can do about it. Top deck the Invocation, which is pretty hilarious. The Og. And then I can bring this back to my hand. And I'll go ahead and just gain that kind of attack. Knowing that he's going to try to activate this effect, I will activate Solemn Strike, negating that and finishing this game off. So that was nice. Especially after all he had in his hand, right? This person was playing Gaia unironically in competitive, which is, yeah, sure. I will ash that. I will... My strategy is consistent, as you can see through his gameplays. I will not let these cards go through. Because anytime I see these cards, it means they have a problem with consistency, at least for me. I feel like the exception is probably... although not really. I was thinking Flew Under Ease. Like, they obviously run these cards, but... I mean, I guess they kind of do. His big play was Red Eyes, Flare, Metal Dragon. Thumbs up. But this deck does have a decent matchup against Rogue for sure. This was protected for at least 1 burn damage. Not that it matters. Okay, so boss stage can come down. I will grab the one that pops a card, because I do have the negate anyways for a monster or a trap card. Although, I don't know. I mean, maybe you want to stop that. Although, yeah, it's decent. But he has to fusion summon with cards on the field, so if I banish this, that means he has nothing to fusion summon with, and that would have been pretty cool. Here's Evil Twin. Evil Twin's always obviously pretty good, and they have a very good opening. They have their play starter. They have a Harpy's Feather Duster. They have a Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill, and the triple tactical talents there. So no Invocation. I'm sure he will end up negating this effect. There we go. We're moving along here. So I do have an Ash and effect failure of my own with the Infinite Impermanence. I have plenty of disruption. There we go. I'm going to let him search it. I might as well just, I want him to just, have nothing on the board, right? Because in case he had another one, too, that would have been pretty bad. Triple Tactical Talents. He's taking control of my Ecclesia. I think he wanted to go into one of his evil twin monsters using my Ecclesia, but when Pegasus had Ignister, like something most people don't even think about during the duel, came in clutch. So he doesn't have a play starter as of right now. And now my advantage is starting to roll over really quick. And he went ahead and surrendered there. So, like, through every possible form of interruption there. This was against Eldritch. This is kind of like that super duper trap heavy Eldritch version. I will negate the Disciple. Obviously, you can never know that he has a card of Demise in his hand. That would have been a better Ash target, but I just got to deal with it now. Broken Line. That's dumb in my opinion, but obviously it worked out there. I'm doing all right for sure. So of course, like, my focus is going to be in like popping these cards. So I'm going to go ahead and activate all of this in the standby phase. So even though the activated Torrential Tribute, I'm still going to be able to pop a card. So able to take out 2 cards with 1 boss stage, I mean, you got to be pretty happy about that. Okay, he tries to go there. He's going to try to activate the effect. He's going to trade for one of my Solemn Strikes, unfortunately, so that doesn't work out too well for me. And I could activate boss stage, this turn. I'm going to pop another one of his cards, so I've done really well to start working through this interruption that he has. There we go, boss stage. And then boss stage can trigger so that I can grab another card. It was pretty unlucky for him to activate it to find another Eldritch, but okay. He has a Solemn Strike of his own, which is pretty funny. Oh, this was like the quintessential duel as to like the major changes I made to my deck, because I had 2 Heart at this point, right? And the card is of course doing nothing, meaning I can't get tokens and I can't get advantage. So of course, this is when I made kind of that big change. He uses a lot of resources to get rid of my this like Generaider boss fight, which is great for me, of course. And okay, here comes the Solemn Strike. He's gonna start. He has to get over my Har now, so boss stage is back on the line. So, but it should have. The game really should have been over already. There we go. Here comes my second copy of Har, but he destroys all of these. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All he has is a Gamma in hand, which he has an empty board now, so I guess you never know when it's going to come in handy. But the Maximus here, he activates Gamma in response. This is a pretty strange duel of like top decking wars. He top decks another gear. Whoo! You hate to see that. And then I top an Ash, so I get nothing too. He tops a Punishment, which could definitely come in handy. I get another boss stage. It's crazy that none of us are getting anything. And then finally I can get an Alistair here, and the Punishment doesn't do too much against it. But he did have the Ice Dragon's Prison. Both of those get banished. But if you remember way earlier back in the duel, I already had another Alistair, which is hilarious. But the Punishment, he did use that card. Activates Pot of Prosperity for 6. I will Ash that because, of course, I had to have something in my hand. You know what I mean? And this card is still dead. So if I just normal summon this next turn and go into the Og, I would have been good to go. And for some reason, the only deck apparently in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now is Dino, because I played it a billion trillion times. So he straight up activates Red Eyes Fusion. I opened one of my bricks. I wanted to send the Blossom so I could send this back into the deck, but more importantly, I have to get over this Dragoon, or else like I'm literally dead. So I can. This doesn't target, which is super important, so we can trade, and that's all I needed. So I'll activate the Har, or the boss stage, I should say. So he's kind of in a tough spot. Like, he obviously wants me to activate something so he can use Gamma, but not yet. Literally all you have to do is negate the effect of Misk in Graveyard, and like 99% of the time you'll have beaten Dino. I'm pretty sure I do that on every single one of these, either the Ash or one of my hard negates. I open up Har in my opening hand. Makes sense. And here we go. He's probably going to activate Misk. Try to activate Misk again. I will Ash that. Yeah, that's funny. So Lancey and Ash, man, are just Dino killers for the most part. Okay, so I'm going to try to go into Invocation. He doesn't activate Solemn Strike, so that's pretty wild, in my opinion. Top deck's an Ultimate Conductor. I will go for the boss fight. And I'm pretty sure... I wonder why he didn't go into an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. That's actually pretty interesting, in my opinion. Okay, so then I'm going to be able to prevent a special summon. So if he did try to go into Ultimate Conductor through like normal means, that's it. I will have just negated that effect from going through, which is awesome. Okay, so more Dino duels here. I should have shotgun. Well, shotgunning against dinos is not a good idea. I mean, obviously I know he's playing what's it called, so like it's probably not good. Might as well just wait till he commits something to the board, because now he can't do anything with double evolution pill. Although if he was running the full scrap package, I'm pretty sure you can full combo this way, so I have no idea what's going to happen. And then yeah. These opening hands are something else. This is so good. He did have the cosmic, but all right, do what you got to do, man, because I'm fine. I will send this back into the deck, hopefully to never see it again. I will get over this in the battle phase. Activate boss stage. Activate Maximus. Maximus can probably send Titan. And this can't be targeted, so I destroyed my own monster. Reading, dude. Don't judge. Do not judge me. And then there we go. I can get an Omnigate, which is probably going to be way more than enough than I need. And it's just so cool because it's like 3,000 attack body and 3,000 defense. It's just underrated for sure. Maximus can probably send once again at some point. Or maybe not. I think this was before I had Omega, which showcases why Omega is so good, because I get to start shuffling those cards back into my extra deck. When he goes into Lambda, it's like you're clearly, like you have Gamma in hand, of course. And not that he had too much of a choice, but yeah. I just thought that was funny. It was literally his only line of play, but I read it, and I had the answers for it. Boss stage, again, is probably going to activate. And this time I can get the Edgara, which I sent back just a little bit earlier. And yeah, that was, you didn't have anything. I had so many forms of disruption. Last duel against Dinos. He opens up Gamma again, and look at me. I don't open up any bricks. I have a good opening. What are you going to do? Okay, so he's going to send Misk, of course. I can't target any of these cards, but I do have the stop for that. Most likely he's just going to pass turn. But he does have the Nibiru, so he might feel pretty good about that. I have to pop this field spell. It's absolutely bananas. The Ecclesia can come down, can search the Maximus, can banish the Elder, send a couple cards. The Blossom. To my hand, I draw off the top of the Edgara, so I'm just like, all right, just send it back, Okay, so I'll take the Omni Negate, I'll take the Punishment too, and as soon as I use the effect of Har, I still have another Negate with the Fleur. I don't know why he went to pop the Punishment. Not sure I get where that's coming from, but yeah. That was pretty neat. And last but not least is against Cyberdarks. Yeah, this is decent. This is kind of like the older version of the deck, but certainly like the same idea. This is when I had Crackdown, but this would be, I mean, technically this would be like a triple tactical talent, so I didn't use it yet, so I'm getting a lot of value out of this, although I don't even think I activated this duel, and I was like, do I even need Crackdown, as good as it is? So he's going to have to send a card. It ends up just being a Cyber Dragon, which is fine, All you have to do is negate their fusion spell, of course, and then you just win the duel. When strategies are so straightforward like that, it's like, I don't know, what are you going to do, man? But yeah, that was a really long extended look at this archetype. This is something I'd feel comfortable taking to like an event as a rogue, to maybe steal a couple games here and there. Maybe lose 3, win 5 duels, something like that. Because I think it could win you, definitely, against anybody, which is nice. So other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I will see you guys next time.